5 silent signs you're near death. Doctors warn seniors to watch these. What if I told you your body might already know when death is coming and it's trying to warn you right now? These quiet signals are so easy to ignore, yet they could mean the difference between living and leaving. I'll never forget the moment I realized the body can whisper secrets about its own ending, quiet, almost unnoticeable, yet powerful enough to change everything. It struck me one night as I sat alone, thinking about how so many believe death always comes with a bang, sirens and ambulance. But what if, for many of us, death comes like a silent thief in the night, tapping our shoulder with subtle clues we ignore? That thought haunted me. And the more I spoke with doctors and older friends, the clearer it became. The body often tries to warn us, but we're too distracted, too convinced it's just age to hear what it's truly saying. Maybe you've felt it yourself, a strange change in your breathing, a wave of confusion, a weight that slips away for no reason. You tell yourself it's nothing, or that everyone your age feels the same. That's what I once believed too. And I nearly paid the price. Because here's the truth. No one tells you those small, quiet warnings could be your last chance to act, to reach for help, to hold on to one more year, one more birthday, one more hug from your grandchildren. Missing those signs could cost you everything you still hope to do. What's so haunting is how these warnings show up. They slip into your daily life, tying your shoes, climbing the stairs, trying to remember the day of the week. There are no flashing lights, just a nudge you ignore until it becomes too loud to deny. I've seen too many families fall apart because no one noticed until it was too late. That is why you need to listen now. If your body is sending a quiet alarm, you deserve to hear it before it's too late to change the story. In this video, I will reveal 5 subtle but powerful signs doctors warn could mean death is closer than you think. This isn't about fear, it's about protecting you. Think of it as a roadmap, a secret language your body is trying to speak. Once you learn how to read it, you'll never see your health the same way again. If you believe every moment left is worth protecting, stay with me until the end. And if you value honest, life-saving information, please consider subscribing to this channel. Your support helps us keep creating content that truly matters. Before we begin, let me ask you, which feels scarier to you? A death arriving suddenly with no warning? Be your body warning you quietly, but you missing the signs? Type A or B in the comments. I'm truly eager to hear your thoughts, and so are others watching. 1. Sudden, unexplained weight loss. I want to share something that took me years to truly understand, something that nearly cost me more than I can say. Weight loss, especially after a certain age, seems like a blessing, right? For most of my life, I fought with the scale, gaining a few pounds, then trying to lose them, worrying over the numbers like they defined me. So when the pounds finally started melting away without any diet or exercise, I thought it was a dream come true. I didn't question it. I didn't ask why. I just smiled when my pants fit looser, and I barely noticed my face growing thinner in the mirror. But the body is a master storyteller, and sometimes it tells a story we do not want to hear. Looking back, those disappearing pounds were a message, a desperate plea for me to pay attention. Because as the weight fell away, so did my strength. The daily walk to the mailbox that used to feel easy started leaving me breathless. Carrying groceries made my arms shake, And still, I tried to convince myself it was normal. After all, everyone said losing weight was healthy, right? That lie nearly stole my future. One day, I stood up from my favorite chair and felt a wave of weakness that scared me to the core. I realized then that I was no longer in control of what was happening. My body had changed without my permission, and something deep inside was draining me faster than I could replenish. I later learned that unexpected weight loss, especially in older adults, can be a silent alarm for things far more dangerous than any diet ever could fix. Cancer, severe infections, failing organs, they can all consume calories without your awareness, robbing you of energy, breaking down your muscle, eating away at your very life. I wish someone had told me that sooner. I wish I had known that losing 15 pounds in 3 months with no effort should have been terrifying, not exciting. Maybe you've noticed something similar. Maybe the number on your scale is going down, but your energy is fading right along with it. Maybe you've blamed it on stress, or a busy month, or simply getting older. Please don't make the mistake I made. Pay attention. Listen to what your body is trying to tell you. Sudden, unexplained weight loss is not just a fluke. It is not a gift. It is a mystery that must be solved before it takes more than just your strength, before it takes your life. If you see the pounds dropping without any reason, talk to your doctor. Share every detail, even the ones you think are too small to matter. Sometimes the smallest clues are the ones that save us. Let your body speak and have the courage to listen before the whispers become screams. 2. Extreme fatigue that rest can't fix. There was a time I believed that sleep could fix anything. If I felt drained, I'd just crawl into bed earlier, thinking a solid 8 hours would put me right again. For decades, that simple plan worked, until one day it didn't. I remember waking up one morning after a peaceful night, sunlight spilling through the curtains, and realizing I still felt like someone had emptied every ounce of life out of me. It was the kind of exhaustion that no nap, no vacation, no quiet afternoon could repair. It felt bottomless. At first, I told myself it was a busy season or a bad week, maybe a bout of stress. But the tiredness only grew heavier day by day, as if something inside me was quietly pulling the plug. I struggled to make the bed, to walk across the room, to carry on a conversation. Friends would ask why I seemed distant, but I didn't know how to describe it. It was like my energy had left and never come back. Later, a doctor explained what my heart had been trying to do. When the organs that power you, your heart, your lungs, your kidneys begin to falter, your body tries to keep up working, over time drawing on every hidden reserve. That struggle uses up more energy than sleep alone can ever restore. And the terrifying truth is that many of us will mistake that profound, unshakable fatigue for just getting older and ignore one of the clearest warnings our body can send. The day I accepted something was truly wrong came when I fell asleep in my favorite chair without realizing it. I had no memory of closing my eyes, no sense of peace, only a terrifying blankness that startled me awake. That was the final push to see a doctor, and I am grateful every day that I did. If you ever wake up and feel just as tired as when you went to bed, if you cannot catch your breath doing the smallest tasks, please listen. That is not normal. That is not simply aging. That is your body waving a red flag, trying to save you before it is too late. Don't let it go unheard. 3. Shortness of breath. During everyday tasks, I never thought something as simple as breathing could betray me. It happened so subtly that I hardly noticed at first. One morning, I was making the bed, smoothing the sheets the way I always had, when I felt this strange tightness in my chest. It wasn't painful exactly, just a heaviness, like a weight pressing down, making me pause for a moment to catch my breath. I brushed it off, thinking maybe I'd stood up too quickly or moved wrong. But that small moment was the beginning of a change that would shake me to my core. Over the next few weeks, I found myself pausing more and more often. Walking to the mailbox seemed like a marathon. Climbing the porch steps left me winded, like I'd just sprinted across a football field. I remember standing in the kitchen one day, trying to stir a pot of soup, and feeling so short of breath, I had to lean on the counter, gripping it until the world steadied. That was the day fear finally sank in, because these were tasks I had done for years without a second thought. And suddenly, they felt impossible. I used to believe that growing older meant slowing down. But no one told me that when the heart or lungs begin to fail, it can steal your breath right out from under you, quietly, ruthlessly, in ways you could never expect. Your body fights so hard to keep you going that it masks the damage until one day you simply cannot catch up. And by then you are so far behind that every movement feels like a battle you can no longer win. There were moments I'd try to explain it to my family, how walking to the kitchen felt like climbing a mountain, how folding laundry left me gasping for air. They'd look at me with concern, but I could see they didn't quite understand. Honestly, I barely understood it myself. But deep inside, I sensed something was terribly wrong, and the fear of what might happen if I ignored it finally pushed me to seek help. That was how I learned that breathlessness, even during everyday chores, can be a desperate message from your body. It can mean your heart is too weak to pump strongly enough, or that your lungs are struggling to bring in the oxygen you need. Sometimes, shortness of breath is the very first clue that heart failure or lung disease is taking hold. And if you wait too long, it could leave you one moment away from a crisis you cannot escape. If you notice yourself stopping to catch your breath in the middle of simple things, putting on your shoes, watering the garden, chatting with a friend, please don't shrug it off. This is not just aging. It is not just being out of shape. It is your body crying out for help before the damage becomes irreversible. Listen and act, because every breath you still have is worth protecting. 4. Sudden confusion or memory loss. I never thought my own mind could turn against me. I had always trusted it to remember where I left my keys, the names of neighbors, the birthday of my oldest granddaughter. But there came a morning when everything felt strangely foggy. I stood in the hallway staring at the calendar on the wall, unable to make sense of the day or even the month. I tried to laugh it off, but the laughter felt hollow because, deep down, I was terrified. This confusion wasn't like misplacing my glasses or forgetting what I went into a room for. It was deeper, more unsettling, like waking up in someone else's house and not knowing how you'd arrived. I found myself repeating questions to my wife, not realizing I'd already asked them. I lost my place in conversations, words slipping through my fingers like water. I had always assumed confusion was a harmless part of aging, a silly joke to share with friends my senior moments, I'd call them. But this was no joke. Each day, my confidence cracked a little more, as if I was watching parts of myself fade away, powerless to stop it. That sense of being lost, even in familiar places, brought a panic. I cannot describe a panic that left me questioning who I really was. When I finally spoke to my doctor, I learned that sudden confusion can be a sign of something far more serious: infections that disrupt the brain strokes, stealing oxygen from its cells, or organs that fail to supply enough nutrients to keep the mind working. In those moments of forgetting, I had been standing on the edge of something dangerous without even knowing it. If you ever feel your thoughts slipping, if you cannot remember what should be second nature, please do not ignore it. Trust the people who notice, even if you feel fine for a moment. Listen when they say you're repeating yourself, or getting lost, or acting differently. That might be the most important warning you ever receive, a final chance to reach out for help before your mind drifts too far to come back. I will never again take for granted the gift of clear thinking, and neither should you. 5. Unexplained swelling in the legs or abdomen. I never expected that something as simple as swelling could carry such a heavy warning. One afternoon, I noticed my socks leaving deeper marks on my ankles than usual. My shoes felt tight, and at night, I struggled to slip my wedding ring off. I told myself it was just the summer heat, or maybe that I had been on my feet too long. But each morning, the swelling returned, a silent companion I couldn't shake. Then came a day when I looked in the mirror and saw my belly looked fuller, stretched in a way that felt unnatural. I pressed gently on the skin, and the indentation stayed like a fingerprint refusing to fade. A quiet fear grew in me because deep down I sensed something was wrong. It was more than a little puffiness. It was my body trying to shout through the silence. I learned later that this kind of swelling, called edema, can happen when the heart struggles to pump blood properly, or when the kidneys and liver cannot keep fluids in balance. The excess fluid has nowhere to go, so it gathers in the tissues, showing up first in the legs, the feet, or the belly. I had never imagined that such a subtle change could be linked to heart failure or severe organ disease. The scariest part was how slowly it crept in day after day, until one day I realized I couldn't button my pants or stand for long without discomfort. I remember lying down at night and feeling short of breath, as though something was pushing against my lungs. That was when I finally went to see my doctor, desperate for answers, before things turned even worse. If you notice swelling that doesn't go away, that worsens during the day, or comes with shortness of breath, don't ignore it. Don't assume it's normal aging, or the heat, or too much salt at dinner. This swelling could be the first and only clue your body has to warn you that its most vital systems are failing. I am grateful I chose to listen before it was too late. Your body is wise, and these quiet signals deserve to be heard. Pay attention before the fluid weighs you down in ways you might never recover from. As I look back on these 5 subtle but powerful warning signs, I realize they are more than just random symptoms. They are the body's quiet cry for help, a final chance to protect ourselves before something irreversible happens. Sudden weight loss, crushing fatigue, shortness of breath, doing simple tasks, confusion that steals away your sense of self, and swelling that seems innocent but signals a deeper threat. Each one is like a silent messenger hoping you will listen. I have learned the hard way that these signs can slip right past you if you let fear or denial get in the way. The truth is, many of us are so used to taking care of others, putting ourselves last, or dismissing our struggles as just getting older that we forget to notice our own cries for help. But no matter our age, we owe it to ourselves to pay attention, to speak up, and to ask for help when something feels off. Life is precious. Every breath, every heartbeat, every day spent with the people you love is a gift. If these warnings show up, it is not weakness to take them seriously, it is wisdom. Think of the people who count on you, the memories still waiting to be made, the milestones you have yet to celebrate. Acting quickly, talking to your doctor, and honoring what your body is trying to say could mean years more of living freely and fully. So the deeper lesson here is simple but powerful. Your body is always talking to you. Never ignore its voice. Tune in, stay aware, and protect yourself with the same love you give to everyone else. You deserve to feel strong, safe, and alive for as long as possible. If there is one piece of advice to hold on to, it is this: listen before it is too late. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these 5 signals feels the most important for you to watch out for in your own life? Please share your answer in the comments so others can learn from you as well. And if you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you are willing, donating to support us. Every bit of help keeps us motivated to keep making valuable videos for you. Thank you for being here, and stay strong.